Hi, everyone. What an honor it is to finally be on the show with Mr. Simon, the great podcast, MovieJunk. And we're going to be talking about my character, Dr. Stephen Walsh, in President Down. This is going to be amazing because we have been trying to get together for the longest time. Anyway, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom! Take it away, Mr. Simon.
Hi, G. Welcome to Movie Junk. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. The honor is all ours. It's a pleasure to welcome martial artist and filmmaker G. Anthony Joseph to our show. We're thrilled to discuss your epic role in President Down and also discussing all of your exciting projects ahead, as well as your journey getting into
Oh,
Hollywood as
gosh,
well. Thank you
what
so
a
much for joining
journey.
us.
You're most welcome and thank you. You have such a great professional show. Every time you told me to watch it, I've watched it.
Thank you so much. And I'm really excited to jump into obviously the role of President Down, but this is the first time that we've had you on our show, and I don't want to do our fans and audience a disservice. We'd love to learn obviously your journey, and if I'm
Mhm.
not mistaken, you're quite a bit of a martial artist, right? You have a pretty extensive,
Little bit.
right?
I try to keep it on the low down, but yes, I my mother got me involved in when I was 10 years old. We moved from the Caribbean, from Trinidad and Tobago, to Baltimore, myself and my two younger sisters, and I was bullied a lot in Baltimore. And one day she put her finger in the yellow pages, and there was a thing that came up that said the system kung fu, boom. And it's been there ever since 1970.
1970s. So I mean that kind of jumps into my next question. So like, and also coincidentally, just from looking at our past interviews, we've interviewed quite a few martial artists, right?
Yeah.
And so like I'm always excited to hear kind of like what were those early inspirations, right? So the 70s, there was some great movies, and Hollywood was great around martial arts too. So what were some of your early inspirations?
Well, the thing is that I was in an interview once, and the host had said, "I wonder if people understand why your whole aura at that time wasn't about Bruce Lee." And I said, and it was a great question, and it suddenly hit me, which comes right back to the question you just asked. Baltimore, 1970s. You talk about people really fighting in the ring, and that's the school I walked into. So there was not so my um, goals and my inspiration were watching. That was at a time where you were watching your own teachers fight
Wow.
for real,
Wow.
constantly as a child. I'm 10, 11 years old,
Wow.
So the Bruce Lee thing didn't happen until later on, mostly for the movies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by the time I was 13, he was already dead. But he was
Hmm.
not a big deal in the school because at that time it was just about the fight and what tournament you're preparing for next week. And there's an article that I have of one of my teachers fighting a kickboxing match in Baltimore, and the headline read "Bloodbath in Baltimore." So that's what I grew up in,
Wow. Wow.
you know?
So you did you go because you're originally from Trinidad, correct? So did you go
Correct.
back and forth between Trinidad and the US quite a bit growing up?
Yeah. Yes, my mother, because my mom and dad had separated, my mother would send us back to Trinidad for 3 months every summer.
Nice.
So myself and my two sisters, we could not wait to get on a plane to go back home because you remember she's taking you from a Caribbean island, beaches and
Yeah.
coconut
Yeah.
trees to Baltimore City.
Hmm.
So it was a huge transition.
And you stepped into Hollywood, I want to say in the late 80s, I believe 1987, correct? Or
Somebody did their homework. I
okay.
like you already.
We have a pretty good big
Yeah.
research and development here at Movie Junk. So
Yeah.
we do our research. So you joined Hollywood in the late 80s, and
Mhm.
because you have this martial artist background, did you come into Hollywood wanting to be an actor that's portraying, like, did you want to be in Bloodsport 2, or did you want to just be a dynamic actor? Was there a preference as far as like what did you want to tackle when you first joined?
It was a choice. It was a definitive choice. I had seen where the martial arts stars at that time were going, and I wanted to establish myself first as a proper thespian. I hate using the word actor. And once that was out of the way, then later on I can bring in, well, he's a great thespian who can also do martial arts, not the other way around, you
Gotcha.
know? Because I
Mm-hmm.
think that to me, not think, I know that's what adds to longevity in movies upon movies, greater movies as you get older.
Yeah, yeah. And you've played, a wide range of characters, right? And like, just from, looking at or jumping into the character of Dr. Walsh and President Down, this is a really psychological, you're the secret villain of the film, right?
Yes.
I'm very curious, like how much of yourself do you bring into these characters
That's a
that you
great,
portray?
great question. How do you pronounce your name? Zaya or Zaya?
Zaya, just like Isaiah with no I.
Ah, that's the first time I noticed that. I was always going to say Simon. So Zaya?
Zaya, Zaya.
Yes,
Yeah.
interesting. So that's a really, really good question. I am, well, when it comes to the bad guys, I am nothing like those people, which is what surprises me the most when I get good reviews on being these bad. I'm like, yeah, but I'm nothing like that, you know? I mean, this is how I am all the time, like this, right? And
Yeah.
most people, when they meet me, go, oh my God, gee, you're a clown in real life. I say, yes, I am. So it definitely takes a lot of mental method effort to get to that point.
Hmm, hmm.
A lot of preparation. For Dr. Walsh, I don't know how much details you want me to go back to, but typically, if I'm playing a cop or a detective, I have friends and I have students who I taught long ago that I can go hang out with, and they're good guys, you know. Dr. Walsh, of course, is a villain who's taken over a plane.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm not going to go hang out with somebody like that, right?
Yeah.
So I did a lot of research. So this is where I had to really mentally put myself in that space of how would he eat? What would he get up in the morning and be doing? And what I found worked the best for me for that role was if on this particular day, I'm going to take over this particular plane, then all the days leading up to that, I'm doing what I can to, okay, well, okay, that day is coming. Okay, who do I need to text? Who do I need to call? So when I leave the house, I'm not going to set.
Hmm, hmm.
I'm going to take over this thing. And that's why usually I'm not very talkative on set.
I see, I see. And we've been fortunate to interview, quite a bit of the President Down cast, in Jesse Cove, Gina Vittori, David Chokichi, now yourself,
Yeah.
it's a tremendous honor. And just listening to the stories of the cast, on set, it really felt like a family was created. David Chokichi and Gina Vittori were doing like yoga in between takes.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
just curious because again, I've seen your physique. You're in tremendous shape. Were you participate and Jesse too? I mean, Jesse's in phenomenal shape too. Were you participating in the yoga sessions?
No, but purposely not.
Oh, that's right. Just based on everything that you just said. Yeah.
Yes, purposely not. I remember them doing it and thinking, my that of course that's your first instinct, right?
Yeah.
And then I have to remember why I'm there.
Hmm,
You
hmm.
know, and I believe, I really believe that that permeates when you're living it outside of the camera. It really permeates what happens when the camera says action. It bleeds over, and that's just me.
Yep, yep. No, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm also curious too, like how were you first approached to take on this role? Was there an audition process? How did you
Audition.
first hear about this role?
Yeah, it was audition. I don't know if it came through my manager or if it's something I saw on Actors Access, but I remember thinking, I'm not going to get called for this. No, that's not how it happened. The beginning part is true, but I wasn't called in for that role. I was called in for a lot of the other roles you see in the show.
Are you able to share any
Yes,
on
I
that?
was called in for the role David plays.
Oh, cool.
I was called in for, I think, the vice president. And I saw other roles that I was called in for. And then I heard nothing. And then Dr. Walsh, I said, Dr. Walsh, what? And I remember thinking when I did the audition, you know what? Um, I'm just not going to care. So the same way, actually, one day I'm going to cut the audition and the real show together. So the same nonchalant attitude I had on the actual movie, it's exactly how I did the audition, you know?
Wow.
And Nick actually told me, he said, he actually said it in an interview. He said it was that nonchalant kind of a upscale, classy way that he wasn't expecting, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, we can semi talk spoilers. When the movie's been out for a few weeks
Yes.
now, I
Yes.
highly recommend fans to check out President Down. It's a Tubi original. Almost every streaming platform comes with the Tubi app. It's free. You can go in and see it. Let us know what you guys think. But I mean, your character, that scene, is a really, really big surprise aha moment. Like, as Jesse's reaction was my reaction, like, oh man, like what's about to happen
Right.
right now, right? And you just played
Yes.
that perfectly. Um, I mean, what was your thought process, right, when you read the script and saw that you're going to have this big aha moment? Like, what was your thought process into going into that scene?
You're asking such good questions. Here's why. When I'm doing a movie, I don't look at it as a movie, I look at it as a world. And where do I fit into this world that the director is creating right now, right? So when I'm reading a script, I'm not reading to memorize. If I read the script 3 or 4 times, I call it somebody's life. I don't call it a script. I'm reading it in full, beginning to end, even if I'm in only 2 or 3 scenes. So I think what people felt was that moment, they felt like this moment had to happen. Like, and look at where, right? And I think what the reason why they felt that was because if you look very carefully, I'm in the movie from the beginning. I'm in the movie from the opening scene when she's having the heart attacks. I am sitting there in the audience
Yep.
and I have my hand in my left pocket, and every now and then I would do something. I am also in a couple of the operating room scenes. I'm the one causing the heart attacks,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
Nick and I came up with the way to disguise it so that when I actually showed up, I think what people felt in me was that finally, no one else can get this job done. I got to do it.
Yeah.
And you cannot get that without feeling that you're part of a whole story. So
Yeah.
you know when you fit in, how you fit in, why you fit in. That's what the audience has to get. And I think that's what they got.
Absolutely. And it's such a unique story, right? We've seen a lot of, action movies, drama thriller movies, obviously in Hollywood, but this is the first time that we see this type of story where there's a compromised pacemaker involving the president and, time is of the essence. Boom,
Yeah.
here we go. The clock is ticking. So yeah, I mean, I was super impressed. I don't think people realize that this is actually something that could happen. There's a whole industry around cybersecurity and medical devices. So I was instantly intrigued by this plot and watched it. And I actually asked this question to Jesse and David.
Mhm.
I'm going to try to not keep spoilers just because now I'm
Yeah,
thinking
yeah, yeah.
I want to see it. But would you be interested in doing a President Down prequel?
Well, you know what happens to me at the end. So they would have to find a way to, if they went back, to show
Yeah,
how these people, where they came from,
definitely, definitely.
right? But oh my gosh, absolutely. And Nick Lyon, working with Nick Lyon as director was just, mwah,
Yeah.
just amazing, amazing.
And there was a really, really big premiere that happened a few weeks ago, and I'm a huge fan of the Cobra Kai series, which we
Yes.
know Jesse Cove had a guest appearance in. His
Yep.
dad is Martin Cove, Sensei Kreese. Is it true that he came in and surprised you guys for
Yes,
the
he
appearance?
did. Yes, he
Wow,
did. He absolutely, and he was as cool as ever.
wow, wow.
As cool as ever. It was amazing.
Did you get a chance to talk to him a bit,
Yes,
or?
I did. I talked to him a little bit and I took a nice picture with him. But
That's,
everybody wants a crowd around and
hmm
I didn't
hmm
want to break that space for him, but everybody loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, we actually, I mean, this channel, I mean, we made our bones initially through like the Cobra Kai and Karate Kid interviews. Our first interview was with Sean Kanan,
Uh,
who's obviously was also in Cobra Kai. So we actually kind of made our bones. So I'm a huge Cobra Kai fan, and I actually went to two appearances where or two events where the Cobra Kai cast spoke, and there was a couple scheduling conflicts. So I haven't had a chance to meet Martin Kove yet. I'm still looking forward to it.
yes.
But definitely excited to see that he showed up, and I would have loved to have come and seen that event. But the photos
Oh,
looked amazing.
definitely. It's funny you bring that up, though. I'm watching. I clicked on a documentary with Charlie Sheen last night,
Yeah, what'd
and
you think?
uh, and he was up for the lead role as what's his name, who plays the lead in Karate Kid. Um,
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
I didn't know that. I
Mhm.
didn't know that at all. You know.
hmm I
Yeah.
feel like I might have seen that somewhere, but like when I got a chance to watch, and I thought the documentary was great, and and
Yeah.
Charlie's doing interviews everywhere, so you're hearing like more in-depth stories of everything we
Yes.
thought
Yeah.
we already knew. But
Yep.
I was thinking about that. I was like, what would a Karate Kid movie be like with Charlie Sheen? And
I know.
he even says that like, yeah, it was a bummer to not take it,
Yeah.
but then there was other roles that opened up because he didn't take it, so it ended up working out for him.
Yeah. Plus, he had that edge to him anyway. I thought Ralph was a really good choice, you know?
I think it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, definitely.
No.
Definitely.
And you've also worked with, quite a big of extensive, stars throughout your career, with
Yeah.
John Lovitz, Malcolm McDowell,
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Morales. Uh,
Yep.
is there a memorable moment that you can share with like anyone that you've worked with that's impacted you the most, or just a memorable story that you could share with the fans today?
All of them had one thing in common that I think it was a it was like a ceiling for me of how I am on set. But the one commonality all of them had was seriousness. Like there was no fooling around on set. Craig T. Nelson, focused. Esai Morales, just focused. David James Elliott and Catherine Bell, focused. There is a little memorable moment there, though, when I landed that part with them on JAG, and I walked on set, and I did like this. Like if you look at me standing in between, they are giants.
Wow.
And I'm this short guy right in between. That was a little shocking. But the one thing I want to say about all of them is um, definitely focused energy.
Hmm. Is there still someone that you are secretly rooting that you can work with, whether it's like a director, filmmaker, or actor still?
I don't think of my career in those aspects only because I love what I do so much. And as long as the project is a good project, I will take it on. Um, if I have to say one thespian that I admire that I would have loved to have been on the same space with him. Can't remember his last name. John, he was the sidekick to Al Pacino in Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, Jim Cavie or
Yes.
John Cazale, Fredo,
Oh my God, him.
Fredo from
Oh,
Godfather 2 and
oh
1.
my gosh. You can just look at him on screen and tell this guy just gets involved. And I would have loved to have been around
Hmm.
that kind of energy. You know what I mean?
Yep, yeah, and I mean he I think like five or I mean, like all the movies he was in pretty much were nominated for Academy Awards.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
he was just a brilliant actor. The last name is escaping me of the guest that we had. His name is John. It's fun. I'm forgetting the last name too.
Hmm.
But he was in Godfather 3. He was Hagen's son. He was also in the movie with Cazal, the Deer Hunter. Remember the
Yes.
three? Remember it was De Niro, uh,
Yes.
and Walken, and then the other actor, John. I'm forgetting his last name. There's the three
Yes.
guys that went to Vietnam, and we actually interviewed him, and our interview we discussed John Cazale quite a bit, and
Wow.
that was just me just fanning out, wanting to know because we've seen his work, but we don't really know a lot
Yeah.
behind the scenes, right? And such a
Yeah.
brilliant actor. But
Yeah,
I definitely would think that would be amazing. If you go back in time, that would be an amazing person to work with.
definitely, definitely. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And I also love asking our guests, like when you're not working, what are some of the shows that you're binge watching?
None.
None.
You know, it's like my wife went away to stay with my daughter in Chicago. She had her first baby. I have three other grandboys with my son, and my daughter had her first baby. And she knows me so well. She said, "Can you please turn the TV on so it works when I get back?" And she was gone for like a month. Yes, darling. Yes, I will. Surprisingly enough, I mean, I hate to say this, I have never even seen Friends. That's how, but I think to me, because I'm so involved in real life all the time, or
Yeah.
reading or martial arts, and of course I'll sit and watch a show now and then. I think the last full series I watched was the one with Jason Bateman.
Oh, the new one.
No, not the new one, the older one with him, with Isai Morales was in it.
Oh yes, yes. The name's escaping me. I know which one you're talking
Um,
about.
was that. So if something comes across and my wife has it on, I say, okay, let's watch that. But I'm not a, I tend to be more involved in just daily things, the
Yeah,
grandkids, reading, working out, because I think that's the kind of life the camera wants to pick up.
yeah,
They don't want another actor. They want someone with, well, I wonder what his life is like when he's not,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And I know just kind of because you've also produced films as well too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Are you planning on producing anymore, or are you purely focused on acting
I
at this
just got up
particular?
one day in 2019, 2020, and I just it was almost 14 years of producing stuff, even though I was acting in some of it. And I just realized I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't. And I turned to my wife and I said, I'm done. And she said, okay. I remember texting my mother when she was alive, and she said, okay, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I think I'm just going back in front of the camera.
There you go.
So I'm right now, there's no desire, but I think I do it well when I do it.
Yeah. So if the right project comes along, you'd still consider.
Might consider it. Might. A big might.
Um,
Yeah.
are you able to share any upcoming projects that you're able to talk about today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is one with called On Paper, where I'm the lead playing a screenwriter whose career is down and out in Hollywood, and he goes to drastic measures to get his career back on track, real drastic measures. Think the mood of Get Out, like that. The Oracle, fantastic book series where I'm playing one of the leads. They shot the first episode, waiting for that to come out. Another one called Fiesta, and a couple others. But those are the ones I'm really looking forward to. On Paper is next. Some stuff came out in Deadline recently, and another article came out about a week ago
Nice.
about that one. I'm really interested in seeing how that came out because I had to carry that picture.
Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
And we're super excited as those projects come out. We'll be sure to share them and promote them on our channel as well.
yes.
I really recommend fans to go check out President Down if you haven't seen it. It's a Tubi original. Put on your TV, stream it. You'll love it. I'm also excited that we were able to get this interview scheduled as well. I feel like I've met and made a great friend, and I hope
Oh,
that we can do, a handful of these interviews again, for round
definitely.
one and multiple rounds in the future. But G, I just want to thank you again for making the time. I'm excited to share this interview with our fans and really looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Well, let's end by walking into the gym and thanking everyone, like Nick Lyon, director, and working with Gina and and Jesse and David, stunt people, Mark David, all of those people. But maybe the next interview, we can do it in the gym. I can break some coconuts for you.
Uh, you're
So
more than
a lot of
welcome to
people, a
break.
lot of people don't realize it's right in my house.
You're
That this is,
you're you're
you
more than
know.
welcome to break a coconut for the movie Junk podcast.
There's a little coconut stand right there, you know. But a
Not
lot
to
of people
put you on
don't
the
realize,
spot.
wait a minute, you just walked from your living room into, they don't realize that this is my house they're seeing, you know.
That's
But
amazing,
it was an honor to do this, and
sir.
definitely. And Paul Logan, can't forget Paul. What a great, I've known him for a long time. It was great to see him again on set too, you know.
Amazing. I
And the
def
Asylum and Fox.
I definitely got to take advantage of getting a workout at that gym when I come down. So I'm going to take you up on that. And Gene,
Definitely.
thank you so much for making the time. We're looking forward to sharing with the fans. Check out President Down. You played Dr. Walsh. I don't want to, say it, but you steal the show. You steal the show for the film. So love your performance and excited to talk to you again for future projects.
All right, no problem, my friend. And thank you so very, very, very much.
Thank you. Take
All
care.
right, take care. Bye.